This video is part 2 of my meal prep spring 2024. I will put part 1 up in the cards so you can check that out if you have not already. Hey, it's Heidi with Heidi Mine, and we are finishing up some recipes for my meal prepping. I get a meal prep guide from this Crafty home, and I will put a link to them in the description. I tried this once in, I want to say 2022, or maybe it was last year, and we kind of liked the recipes. Some of them weren't quite to our taste, but I really needed some direction. I'm not great with planning menus and planning meals on the spot. So I went through this particular set of recipes with my daughter. We decided they sounded pretty good, so we went ahead and started making them. This time around, it felt like it went smoother, faster, probably because I had a second set of hands. My kitchen is not very big, so sometimes when I'm trying to prep things, I'll take up like all of the counter space and then I get really overwhelmed. So with my daughter helping, she could do some things while I was doing others, and it just went along much quicker. We did make these recipes a little out of order from how the guide wanted us to do it. Normally in the guide, there's two 2-hour prep sessions. We did not do that, mostly because we had planned to eat some of the meals on certain nights. So basically what we did is we spread it out over a few extra days, and we would prep the meals that we would eat for dinner along with the extras that would go into the freezer, depending on what we were making. So I want to say this one is kind of it's almost like a mock lasagna. I think they call it a cheesy spinach pasta. But we really liked this one. We ended up putting in more cheese than what was in the recipe, partly because we like the ricotta. Like we just knew we weren't going to use ricotta for anything else, so we just threw the extras in there to use it up. But partially because my kids really like cheese, so we put in a little extra Parmesan and mozzarella. Now, when I make lasagna, I use a cookie scoop because when you're trying to put ricotta, like any kind of a ricotta mix, onto something else, it gets really, really sticky, and I don't love that. So I like putting it onto the other parts of the recipe with a cookie scoop. It just spreads it out a little bit easier. So one thing we're working on with our recipes is not rushing how we put them together. Sometimes my daughter likes to rush into the recipe, and then we end up with one batch that has like a lot of the ingredients and one batch with not so much. So I think one of those ended up with a little less sauce and maybe a little less spinach. I will say that I will never again get Dollar Tree tinfoil or aluminum foil. It's horrible. You saw the first one, I did not put the plastic wrap. This one is going into the freezer. The first one went right into the oven. It was a really good recipe though. We really liked it, and it was way more than we could eat. So it was great for leftovers, that there was more than enough for us to have for dinner, and then it was probably, I don't know, a third of the recipe left. And that has served as extra lunches and quick dinners when we needed it. When I was doing my meal planning with this prep, we went ahead and got a calendar and we wrote down what nights we were going to have each dinner so that we could make sure that we had any extra ingredients we needed, like if we needed vegetables to make with it, or pastas or whatever. So that was helpful. But also we schedule in one night a week that is a leftover night. Our leftover night is on Mondays because Tuesday morning is garbage day. So anything that does not get eaten Monday night ends up unfortunately going in the trash. I mean, if we made it on Sunday, then I might keep it a little longer, but anything that's been sitting there for more than 2 to 3 days ends up going into the trash, and that way it can go out and get collected on Tuesday morning. This particular set of recipes has been really great. I want to say that this is the least amount of food that we have had waste from. Most of these recipes are getting finished within a day or two, whether we're finishing it the night that we're making it or we're eating it up as leftovers. Now for this, I actually should have been using whole bell peppers, but I had a bag of mini bell peppers that I knew was going to be going to waste soon. So I just bought a second bag of mini bell peppers and I cut them up to put them in these recipes. If you are liking this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications to let you know when I go live or when I post new content. So these took a little bit longer to cut up because they were the smaller peppers, but I think one of these recipes was just for like fajitas. So it was fine. It worked out. But that is why I have 3 bags and 1 bowl, because again, we were making this particular recipe on a day that one of them was going to go right onto the stove. These are veggie fajitas. And I am very much a steak and potatoes kind of person. So having this many vegetarian meals was really interesting to me. But so far, the meals that we've made that have been fully vegetarian, no meat, they do have animal product like cheese, they've been very filling. So that has been a really nice part of these recipes, that not only do we have a little bit left over, the fajitas we did not. We ate all of the veggies for those fajitas. They were delicious. But on any of the recipes so far that we have not finished, they've just been really good. They've been very filling. And I think that's an important thing when you're trying to plan your dinners. You don't want to go to all the trouble of making dinner and then feeling hungry afterwards. We are early eaters. I kind of joke to my kids that we're like little old ladies because we do like to eat fairly early. We're not early to bed people. So, but it works for us. Like we like to eat around 6 o'clock. So it gives us plenty of time to digest before going to bed. But it's also nice because I have not been snacking before dinner. Not that I'm big at that anyway. And here we have our cans again. I do like to get all of the ingredients out and on my counter so that I don't have to go run around looking for them. That's a big time saver all in itself. That little blue thing, lid looking thing that I'm using, that is a can strainer. I got that years ago for, I think they were advertising it for like tuna cans. So you could, set it into your tuna can and then press on it and it gets all of the liquid out of your tuna can. But it works for everything. So it has like a piece that you can turn it into so it's for bigger cans, but I just needed it little for these cans. And I'm not sure if I was supposed to drain all of the juice out of whatever the liquid is out of the beans, but I don't like whatever that liquidy stuff is in black beans, so I strain them as much as possible. We did make sure to get fresh garlic this time around. For a while, I had garlic and then I wasn't buying it as much. We weren't using it, so I stopped buying it. But I noticed a big difference in the taste of the foods. With fresh garlic, they're just better. So I have my handy dandy Pampered Chef garlic press. Some of the cloves were really big, so I was having to cut them in half. But I love this particular garlic press. You put it the clove in with all of the papery peel on. It just squishes out all the stuff, and then I use a knife and I just scrape the peel off and into the garbage. Fun fact, when I used to work for a pizza parlor, they used to tell us to use root beer to wash our hands with after handling raw meats and garlic, that the smell would come out. I did try it once or twice. I don't know if it's completely accurate, but it works for me. So there you go. So here we have the veggie fajitas, lemon pepper chicken with asparagus, the cheesy spinach pasta, bourbon chicken, and we put that with stir-fry veggies and some rice, chicken cacciatore, and we made that with broccoli. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell for notifications. See you soon.